Brooklyn's Bedford-Stuyvesant neighborhood wasn't always the green, vibrant community it is today. Much of its transformation is thanks to one woman, Hattie Carthan, a pioneering environmentalist who saw potential where others saw problems. Her vision planted not only trees, but seeds of development in the community around her. Born in Portsmouth, Virginia in 1900, Hattie Carthan was a woman ahead of her time.
Now you take this branch down, see? Right, that's right.
Environmentalist, negotiator, excellence, unity, excellence, a visionary, a strategist.
She was very, very dynamic and, in her approach and very determined and intentional.
She had a can-do attitude.
She
and she had that smile.
Yeah, she's that.
Which is what I always remember. That smile and just can-do, no matter what it is.
To the neighborhood children who grew up on her block in Bed-Stuy, Hattie was unforgettable. Her presence left an imprint that has carried through their lives into adulthood.
Sometimes something may happen within one of our families or whatnot. If something does happen, the first person comes to my door will be called, Donna, what is it that you need? Yeah. What is it that you need us to do to help
community?
Yes, not a problem.
And that came from when Miss Carthan started. She and then the 5 families that were earlier here, and she brought together this block association, and she brought out her ideas about the environment, green space, trees, etc. And everyone here is an example of what that is.
It's a mindset, not just a story. It's a mindset that contributed to each of our individual upbringings, like who we are. And that means that how she individually changed our lives and how these women on this block and the males on the block collectively influenced who we are. They influenced our mindset. It's a mindset of I can do, not just an episode of experience. It's a mindset.
When she moved to Brooklyn in the 1960s, the community of Bed-Stuy was struggling with neglect, disrepair, and a severe lack of vegetation.
I actually have a memory of my great-grandfather walking through the lot, and it's totally empty from one block to the next. And you didn't never feel that good about certain aspects of Brooklyn. You wanted it to be prettier.
But that did not intimidate Hattie. She committed herself to bringing life back to the block, planting the seeds for a healthier, greener future.
She was a pioneer, a teacher, an environmentalist before it was popular to be an environmentalist. And she stood for everyone coming together and taking care of their community, and also ecological studies to teach children, teach the community, teach people how to live off of their land, pretty much just how to be resourceful, learn a skill so that you can live off the land, so that you can open up a business, so that you can be a viable entity for yourself and also for your community, so that your community and your family and everyone can thrive together.
Hattie is the main ancestor. I come from a line of astute feminine ancestors and queen mothers, so I have my own biological feminine ancestors that I'm in touch with. But Hattie is an ecological ancestor.
Hattie's ecological activism was prompted by her discovery of a southern magnolia tree in her neighborhood. Recognizing that this tree was the last of its kind in Brooklyn, Hattie Carthan rallied the community to protect the tree, which led to her establishing the Magnolia Tree Earth Center in 1968.
I found out that my tree was threatened because of a housing development, and
They were going to take down the buildings that had protected the one known tree of its kind this side of Philadelphia. So I contacted some responsible members of the community, and we wanted to see what we could do to preserve our tree.
All from the corner up to this parking lot here were brownstones like this. And so they were destroying, they were on their path to destroy all the brownstones leading up to here. And so that's how she got involved, because she knew that when they tear the buildings down, the tree would be going also. And so she started a whole movement around having the tree designated a landmark. And it's the only living tree, landmark tree in North America.
To understand the deeper meaning behind Hattie Carthan's mission, it's crucial to understand the role trees play in our lives.
So there are many benefits of trees. Some of the big ones, of course, are connected to mental health, well-being, beautification. But some of the ones that we forget about is that trees should be considered vital infrastructure in most cities. The trees are a big air quality component. They provide shade. They help with mental and physical effects of climate change, including urban heat island effect and things that could exacerbate other illnesses and asthma, contaminations in our soils, and of course, make an opportunity for communities to come together in green spaces. Having access to parks where trees live, as well as our street trees, is vital for not only community centers, for community groups, for organizations, but even just any New York City resident, especially those that are youth, which might not know that there is a way and a job and an opportunity right in front of them. A lot of times trees get forgotten because they do look a lot like lampposts and maybe just some electrical signs sometimes, but they serve a vital purpose that has many benefits that can support you in your daily life as well as your community.
John used to say that trees can feel what we say to them, right? Like our words are not just words, they have an energy to them. I thought it was a straight garbage, right? But then I remember reading an article about a teacher doing a study, an experiment, where he had two plants growing in identical situations, except one plant, the kids would say nice things to it, and the other plant, the kids would say horrible things to it. And the plant that the kids said horrible things to didn't grow as well as the plant where the kids said good things. So our words have an energy that affects us.
We planted these trees and everything was always, we must keep around the trees clean. And, you know, she even had us come out and talk to the trees, you know? She was like, this one here, he's gonna grow up to be really, really strong and dependent from the others. And I would be looking at her like, really? You know, I mean, I was amazed, you know, 7 years old, but to this day, I believe each one of these trees have their own personality. I really do.
What they do?
There's a difference between every tree on this block. Every tree on this block, yeah.
What we're trying to do on this block is to do and generate perhaps this whole idea of this tree, one tree at a time. It's really like one block at a time, and coming together and understanding that when you come in this community, there is a historical legacy. You don't just come into something that's like, you know, that has never been done before, right? I think that's something that everyone who comes into this community has got to understand. Bed-Stuy wasn't just a drug-filled community.
That's right.
Right? Each of these women, as I said, not only did they do their community work, but they also individually had their own community programs. And Hattie Carthan was able to bring all that energy together.
Inclusiveness was at the heart of everything Hattie built, and it shaped the Magnolia Tree Earth Center into more than just a gathering place. This center grew to be a cornerstone of the community, offering resources and programs residents couldn't find anywhere else.
The Magnolia Tree Center for me has always been a staple in the community. It gave me a place where I can kind of be with the other kids in my neighborhood and enjoy community activities. We could learn something, and they were always teaching.
That I needed an after-school center for my daughter, my youngest daughter, and I think she was about 8 years old. And I had her going to a school, and they had closed that school down, and I had to find a place for her. So I put her in 305 school, and somebody told me about the Magnolia Tree Center, after-school center. And so I came over here, and I actually came to this exact same room here. This room here is where they had the after-school program. And she came here, and they taught her about gardening, you know, about planting and stuff like that, and she did her homework. What I noticed now, she's talking about, out of the blue, she's talking about getting land and planting or making organic vegetables out of the blue. And I said maybe it came from the time when she was 8 years old, when she came here to Magnolia.
So with Magnolia, I used to go there from grades from 2nd, 3rd, 4th grade. I remember. Could have been 5th, but I definitely remember from 2nd to 4th grade. We went there for field trips. It was always a good time. We'll put it like that. I had already had an inkling, not a green thumb, but an inkling of wanting to learn, you know, how to grow agriculture. It was just a fascination.
This focus on the younger generation deeply impacted those involved with the center, either as adults who furthered its mission or children who attended their programs.
So there was this activity where they went over the names of plants, and I never forgot it. I never forgot the different roses and plants and trees. And it was such a simple activity. It was such a simple thing, but it stayed with me as an artist. Like, it stayed in my life. So now that I'm older, I find like pure enjoyment taking in these beautiful pictures, like candid shots of flowers. And then it's funny because 9 times out of 10, I'll use it in my painting, or I'll hide it in my painting. I could show you about 10 paintings where I've hid flowers in there. And I think that love is rooted very early on with exploration. And that's what Magnolia Tree Center is about.
I think the very last time we went, I remember, I think we were growing daffodils, and they gave each one of us like a bulb to plant, and we would just have to wait for it to grow. It was just always a good time. You always learned something new. Back then, that was like the only program for us as inner city kids that we could go to, but the experience was great.
We would take the children on neighborhood trips. One of the places that we would go was to the Magnolia Tree. They had then was children would go in. We would have other educators there. They may go in and have a session of making, we used to do dog clothes, a little sewing. There was another occasion where we did cooking lessons. Then there was another occasion we had science projects of planting. We would plant seeds and things of that nature.
Beyond its curriculum, the center became a space where personal growth and identity took root.
It's really the children. I know, I don't want to be like Whitney Houston, like the children are our future, but honestly, I've got core memories from this neighborhood, from this center, from Vine King Park that stay with me, and I'm just excited to continue to inspire others through my work too.
Serving the next generation is also a mission shared by community leaders like Farmer Jan, president of the Hattie Carthan Community Garden, who's also dedicated to furthering Hattie's legacy.
Everywhere that I went, I taught everyone about Hattie. All of the children, I created the curriculum at a collegial level where it could be studied. I really, really understand that the futures are opportunity for change, that we cannot be sitting in a room divorced from the consciousness of our children. So actually, I have spent all of my weekends since 2009 eating, talking, walking, and eating with children since 2009. Children who do not eat at home are able to come at the farm and eat at the farm table. I've created a space for them.
That space created for children also tackles deeper issues within the community while providing a retreat for wellness, resilience, and connection to nature.
So a community garden is green space in an urban heat island. And it's an increase in green space in urban areas, decreasing stress and decreasing crime. So it's not just a place to grow nutrient-dense, high vibrational food, but it's also a way to de-stress, to get in contact with nature. I remember Yannette saying that if you put your bare hands and feet in the soil, the bacteria in the soil will help, or the life in the soil will help remove stress from your body. So it's a place to literally de-stress. We weren't meant to live on petroleum-based streets and concrete buildings, but we were meant to be in touch with nature. So this is a way to return to nature.
Like Farmer Jan, Hattie believed that a better humanity starts with healthy green spaces. But she also understood that the power of community is essential to driving positive change in our lives.
Community centers are the lifeblood of the neighborhood. Because where we lived in Midwood area, they offered no services for the kids. Where in Bed-Stuy, you had a lot of programs. You had Magnolia, you had Thompson Park, they had Miss Berry program at 305 Park, PAL, St. George Church, Salvation Army, and they saved a lot of lives in this community.
It's important to have those type of organizations to have their input in the community as well as the schools. Children have to be taught. They learn from us. They need to get out, get fresh air, see other things, enjoy Mother Nature. Why? If the children don't learn how to be productive citizens, what will they do in a community?
To foster true community. And I feel like organizations and the programs that Magnolia Tree Earth Center holds, initiatives that they're pushing forward, the initiatives that they're sponsoring in the garden, I feel like all of that is essential and it creates true community.
Behind every initiative at Magnolia was a woman with a vision, a woman who believed in beauty, in people, and in community.
To me, I would put Hattie Carthan up there with Mother Teresa. She was a humanitarian first.
When I see and I found out about how much she did to beautify Brooklyn, it enlightened me. I wanted to know more about her. And then I found out she would create these groups of kids that would help plant the flowers.
That group was the Tree Corps, one of several environmental initiatives led by Hattie Carthan. With her leadership, Miss Hattie rallied over 100 block associations to plant more than 1,500 trees across Brooklyn. Through these efforts, Miss Hattie not only changed the landscape of Brooklyn, but also fostered a sense of pride and ownership among its residents.
They called it a community medical group because she was literally doing surgery on the community, on that side. I can't forget that.
So from her, on Vernon being the model for the trees, she fleshed it out in the entire neighborhood, and that's how she was behind planting 1,500 trees in Bedford-Stuyvesant. All the trees that you see, all these old London plane, or any tree that you see, a lot of the trees in our neighborhoods, you could see that they're very old. They have countenance, the trunks are this big, they're gnarly, and you could see that they're historic trees.
And so she started the association to plant the trees, and she had her tree core on that block, and that she brought down here to Magnolia. A lot of the neighbors were against it, because they thought that they have to sweep, trees shed, so they have to sweep. And she said, well, I'm sorry, you're getting a tree. Yes, and she was determined, she's a Virgo. She did not take no for an answer. And she planted those trees, and in order to get the trees, you had to purchase, back in those days, the block association had to purchase the trees. And so she arranged to have, bake sales, pig roasts, hot dogs and hamburgers. And she invited John Lindsay, who was the mayor of New York City at that time during the 70s. And he actually came. He came to the block to see what her ideas were and how he could help her to implement those ideas. And so the tree, as a result, the Parks Department matched what she raised through bake sales, and that's how she got those trees.
Everyone on this block had strong personalities. She was a negotiator, and she negotiated with this big spoon.
Mm-hmm.
And that needs to come out. She was able to navigate all of the strong personalities, whether they were from the South, whether they were like us from the Caribbean, whether they were from, our Latino brothers and sisters. She was able to negotiate across diversities, across cultures. Mm-hmm. And that is something that I think should also be part of our legacy.
Inclusiveness. Something that really resonated me, that Hattie Carthan said, because I believe in this. She said, like when she was trying to get the program going, being that she was from Plymouth, Virginia, she knew the importance of having trees in the environment for better oxygen and so forth. There's so many reasons why it's so important to have trees in the community. Mm-hmm. And she was like, you know what, we have to stop leaning on the government, waiting on the government to do something for us, really waiting for a handout. Mm-hmm. She said, instead of us waiting on the system or the government, let's just go to each other, and let's just help each other out as a community. And to me, that really resonated with me, and it's true.
While she mobilized communities to take action, it was her individual interactions that those who knew her remember most.
There used to be a Key Food around the corner, and many times when we wanted to get something, we just get up, we go around the corner, and we'd be able to go to the supermarket. At this time, I had gone away to college and I came back, and I was going around the corner to get something in the store. And I happened to see in the store Miss Carthan, and there she was with her cart, getting her groceries and whatnot. And I said, oh, Miss Carthan, wait, you need to get something? Let me get that for you. So after we got everything, we're getting ready to leave. And I said, you know what? I'll carry that. And she said, you know what? No, I'm good. As long as I'm moving, as long as I'm walking, I'm good. And I took that as advice as to how you do and how you grow into later and older years. So as long as I can move around, if I can, get up and go, etc., I'm good. I'm good.
That lesson said everything about who Hattie Carthan was. Independent, humble, and always moving forward with purpose. And that purpose lives on in what she left behind.
She left so much to the community. She left this center here, the Magnolia Tree Earth Center, which focuses on cultural events. She left this space. If the community needs to have a wedding, if someone needs to get married, a safe space, a men's group, a women's group, to teach classes, vocational classes, gardening classes, art programs, photography. It's like so many things that you can do in this space.
I know her spirit lives throughout Bedford-Stuyvesant. I know the people on my block, the type of people that was on my block knew her because of the type, everybody on that block, all those older people that was on there, all of them was about keeping the blocks beautiful. And I really think it's a direct connection with Hattie Carthan. It's all her vision, and it's still going on today.
So what does the Magnolia Tree Earth Center look like today? And how does it continue to carry Hattie Carthan's vision forward into the future?
Right now, we're actually going to debut an art exhibition, and the name of the art exhibition / open house is named Grow and Bed-Stuy. It's the Hattie Carthan's way. Okay, by way of that, we will be launching a fundraiser to raise funds for the Community Center for Magnolia Tree Earth Center, and we really need everyone to buy into what we're doing. You see all the work that we put into Magnolia to get it to this point. We renovated the interior of the building as well, and with this art exhibition, we are going to be partnering up with Vaughn King Cultural Arts Center, which is right across the street, because Hattie Carthan and Vaughn King, they did a lot of their community work hand in hand. So we're reuniting them in that way, and we are going to be utilizing both spaces. We are going to have exhibits that's going to showcase the art from artists from the community, from Bed-Stuy, and it's going to be dynamic.
Yes, I can't wait to collaborate with the center. Like, this is full circle for me. Being a child and being here and letting it be my safe haven to find out about my environment, to find out about my community, to understand that it's actual people who planted these flowers, who made us look better just so that we can feel better. I want to be a part of that. I want to offer my time as well, because I felt like there was someone, you know, when I was younger that offered their time just to talk to me about plants. And I will never forget that.
Bye.